Hey, girl. Down on your luck?
A bizarre video on her social media yesterday, which sent several people into absolute meltdown.
Just do what everybody else does in that situation. Get a podcast. And no.
Meghan Markle probably didn't expect that one small joke would shake her entire image, but that's exactly what happened when famous comedian Jon Stewart stood on his TV show stage and called her the worst entrepreneur of the year. It wasn't a tabloid headline, it wasn't a royal scandal, it was just one sentence, but it hit harder than any news story about Meghan ever did, because for the first time, someone with real influence openly said what people have been whispering for years, that Meghan Markle talks a lot about success. But when it comes to real business results, there isn't much to show. Ever since Meghan and Prince Harry left the royal family, they've been trying to build their own empire. On paper, it looked impressive. They had podcast deals, production contract, charity project, even talks about a luxury lifestyle brand. But the problem wasn't the ideas. It was the follow-through. Most of these projects either disappeared quietly or turned into PR disasters. It started with Meghan's big podcast dream, Archetype. It was supposed to be bold, feminist, and break boundaries for women's voices. Spotify signed a $20 million deal with Meghan and Harry for this. But behind the scenes, it didn't go as planned. Reports say ghostwriters handled most of the work. Some famous guests claimed they never even spoke to Meghan directly. The podcast had big themes, but lacked depth. And after just one season, Spotify pulled the plug. It wasn't a quiet ending either. A top Spotify executive publicly called Meghan and Harry grifters, basically accusing them of taking money without doing the real work. Meghan didn't give up. She tried again with a new show called Confessions of a Female Founder. It was all about women, leadership, and success. It had the perfect branding, catchy name, and the right message. But once again, it disappeared after only 8 episodes. No major audience, no real impact, just another quiet failure. This is exactly why Jon Stewart's joke made such an impact. It wasn't just funny, it was true. Meghan has made a pattern of launching shiny new projects that grab headlines, but never deliver lasting success. And people are noticing. Even her most loyal fans are starting to ask questions. What happened to all the big promises? Where are the results? Why do her projects always fade away? The problem isn't just with Meghan's podcast or media work. Her children's book, The Bench, followed the same story. It launched with fancy headlines and celebrity praise, but quickly vanished from the spotlight. There were no awards, no lasting cultural impact, just polite nods and silence. It's not just about failed podcasts or forgotten books. Meghan's Netflix deal is another example. When it was first announced, people expected something powerful, a real inside look at life beyond the royal family, but what they got was something else entirely. The documentary looked polished. It had fancy editing, emotional music, and beautiful shots, but when it came to substance, it fell short. Critics called it self-serving and surface level. It didn't answer the tough questions. It didn't feel real, and once again, the project faded from public conversation almost as quickly as it arrived. The same thing happened with Meghan's nonprofit, Archerwell. It was supposed to be the heart of her post-royal life, a project filled with purpose, compassion, and real social change. But if you visit the Archerwell website today, you'll mostly find pretty words and inspiring statements. When you look for actual results, detailed reports, or clear impact, there's not much there. Meanwhile, other celebrities like Rihanna and the Obamas are running foundations that actually make a difference. They fund education, help during disasters, and support real communities. Meghan's foundation, on the other hand, feels more like a personal branding tool than a mission-driven organisation. And then there's the constant rumours about Meghan launching a lifestyle brand. Some say it's going to be like Goop, selling luxury wellness products. Others say it'll be home goods, fashion, or skincare. But months have passed, and there's still no product, no website, no launch date. It's just vague Instagram teasers and PR whispers. This is what Jon Stewart's joke exposed. Meghan's entire business image looks great from the outside, but there's no real product, no solid foundation underneath. The joke wasn't cruel. It wasn't a personal attack. It was an observation, a reminder that looking successful is not the same as being successful. Real entrepreneurs build things. They work hard behind the scenes. They face failures, but learn from them. Meghan plays the role of an entrepreneur, but the hard work, the results, the consistency, it's all missing. Even the royal connection that once opened doors for her is losing its power. Being the Duchess of Sussex gave her opportunities most people could only dream of, but that royal shine fades when projects keep failing. Every new launch is met with more doubt. The excitement is gone. The public doesn't believe the hype anymore. Even Meghan's most loyal supporters are starting to ask hard questions. Where are the results? What happened to the promises of success? It feels like every new project is just a repeat of the last one. Big announcement, fancy marketing, and then nothing. People get excited for a short time, and then the project quietly disappears. Meanwhile, Harry seems to have found his direction. His book, Spare, may have been controversial, but it made an impact. People read it. It started conversations. It showed that, love him or hate him, Harry at least had something real to say. Meghan, on the other hand, still seems unsure of what her true mission is. One day, she's a podcaster. The next day, she's promoting a lifestyle brand. After that, she's trying to be a social activist. But none of these roles feel consistent. None of them have produced lasting success. This is why Jon Stewart's joke landed so perfectly. He didn't make fun of her personally. He didn't talk about her family. He simply pointed out what many people had already been thinking. Meghan Markle has all the tools, all the connections, all the media attention, but she hasn't built anything solid. Her projects don't last. Her business efforts feel more like PR stunts than real ventures, and that's dangerous in a world where audiences value authenticity. People today can easily tell when someone is just playing a role. They want to see hard work. They want to see results. They want to believe in the person behind the brand. Meghan's public image, however, feels more like a trailer for a movie that never releases. All the excitement, none of the substance. Industry insiders are noticing this too. In Hollywood, people are now quietly calling Meghan high risk, low return. That means she brings drama, attention, and headlines, but not the kind of success or money that lasts. Production companies that once lined up to work with her are slowly stepping back. Even Netflix has started to be more careful. Yes, Meghan and Harry still have a deal with them, but the open checkbook days are gone. Now, Netflix wants to see real work, real deliverables, and proof that the projects can actually succeed. One example is Meghan's planned animated series Pearl. It was supposed to be a big project, but it got cancelled before it even began. Officially, the reason was budget cut, but behind the scenes, the message was clear. No one wants to gamble on ideas without proof of success. This is where Meghan seems to be struggling. She loves the idea of being a powerful entrepreneur, but real business isn't just about looking successful. It's about doing the hard work, staying consistent, and delivering real results. The truth is, Meghan still has a chance to turn things around, but it will take more than shiny headlines and fancy photos. She needs to pick one thing, focus on it, work hard, and prove herself with real results. People don't want more promises. They want to see action. Until that happens, jokes like Jon Stewart's will keep following her, and slowly, the world will stop taking her seriously. In the end, success isn't about titles or connections. It's about building something real. And for Meghan, the clock is ticking. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more real stories that go beyond the headlines. And tell us in the comments, do you think Meghan can still fix her image? We'd love to hear your thoughts.